Hi and welcome back to another video going over the Frosthaven characters. Today we got the Inox Drifter and we're going to start off with the Unbreakable card.
So Unbreakable, so we can see here, the top thing just allows you to kind of skip your action that turn. You just move them 2 back. And on the bottom, not super fond of actually.
Yeah, I feel about shields.
Yeah.
Kind of weak sauce.
Yeah, and it's only shield 1. It does remind me of one of the Brutes cards, and even though there's better interactions with this, I think it's almost outclassed by some of the other cards. So I do like the top half though, as it gives you some downtime when moving between rooms. You can push the tracker back to on any of your other better abilities.
Alright, next up, Relentless.
Again, same ability on top, and the initiative is almost the same. That one had a 90, this one has an 89. The difference here is Retaliate 2 at range 2. How do you feel about that?
I guess it depends on your role in the party. If you're going to get hit a lot, Retaliate would come in handy.
Yeah, and the thing is, if this is going to be someone who's closer to the front line to take the hits more often, I think this is pretty good. Also, the fact that it's Retaliate 2 at range 2, that means if you do base those ranged people, according to their AI, they'll only jump out 1 hex, shoot you, and you'll still get your Retaliate off on them. Also, it's Retaliate 2, and it causes them to suffer damage, so it breaks their shields.
Alright, next up we got Sustained Momentum.
Very good. As you can see, it's nice attack too, which isn't necessarily great. You'll notice a lot of the Inox Drifter cards are not huge numbers, and that's because they're expecting you to have 2 or 3 of these charge cards in play at all times. So every time you do something, you're just better than everyone. But you have to be sure to put the charges back. The cool part about this is you attack 2, and then after that attack resolves, move anything back 1. So you can keep more retaliates, more other stuff, and we'll see below. Every time you move, 2 more moves. So even if you use the basic things, you can turn everything into move 4s or better. It's pretty awesome. I think you'll use the top part a bit, but I can see the fact that there's a lot of crappy movement on the Inox. I can see the bottom half also being used.
Alright, next we got Crushing Weight.
This is my favorite. Do you know why?
Because it adds 2 to your melee attacks?
2 to your melee attacks, and you can keep, with all the other abilities, push back. And even then, the bottom half, if you don't want to go and you go for a more ranged or decide that, hey, you're maybe going to build a scenario that uses some of the other ones, you've got a move 2 that also moves moves one of the trackers back. It's kind of hard to complain about some basic movement and also keep some of your abilities alive.
Well, you are going to need some basic abilities. If you have all of your hand out on the table and persistent abilities, you're going to exhaust.
Yeah, that's why you only pick like 3 out of the 6. If you do, it's exactly right. If you have 6 down, you're like, boom, look how great I am. Not only that, you're not going to have the cards in play to keep them refreshed, and your hand size is going to dwindle to nothing. So you find out the scenario, you feel it out, and you kind of put only, in my opinion, I want to try it with just 3 in play. And start out the scenario with just 2 and then add a 3rd one going on. I think that one is sustainable. At that point, because the Inox huge hand size at 12, you can actually play a bit of them in.
Alright, moving on to Violent Inheritance.
Yeah, so the cool part is it's an attack 1. The interesting part is if you do have Crushing Weight in play, it's an attack 3, loot 1. So if you kill it too, you get to loot it. and everything else around it. So I'm a big fan of that. I'm not a huge fan of the bottom half, but I can see it being useful later. I really a lot of people in low levels bring loot 1s on top and say, yeah, that'll be good, I just need a loot card. And I like loots on top because you can pair it with a move. So the bottom half, if you really need a really big burst of movement and a chuck, you can get it in there. I mean...
Yeah, I wish it wasn't a loss card. I mean, I understand it's an attack on the bottom, so they kind of needed.
Hi, it's me, the Inox Drifter. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Now let's get back to the cards.
Alright, next we have Precision Aim.
Same thing as Crushing Weight, but with ranged attacks. I think there's some room for it. I think mostly because of the bottom, but I think there will be some times where you're going to want to buff both your ranged and melee attacks. There may be some times where you just need the bottom, which is just a straight up heal 2. You can heal yourself for some ally within 3.
Precision aim, I think it just depends on how you want to build your character. If you want to be melee focused or range focused.
Or both. I think we're going to have to see
Or both.
Yeah. Oh.
Just have all the precision abilities out.
Or just
exhaust yourself.
Or just not have some of the others. I'm just saying there's room for it, and I like the bottom half.
Alright, next is Bloodletting.
Attack 3, and if you kill your target, you get to move one of your charges back 1. Effectively, with Crushing Weight, that's an attack 5, and you get the charge back if you kill it. I think that's despite its 65 initiative, Inox Drifter has terrible initiative cards. I think that pairs well. That's a good top half. The bottom half, attack 1 wound. Again, with Crushing Weight, that's an attack 3 wound on bottom.
Wounds can add up.
Yeah, an attack 3 on bottom, too.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're saying it's just an attack 1, but you have to kind of imagine this like the Mind Thief. The augments are basically always in play.
Next is Continuous Health.
Continuous Health, Long Life.
Wrong game.
Okay. Again, it's one of those halves. It's where they kind of give you some weird weak ability on top that pushes a charge back. In this case, it's an attack 1 at range. If you're pairing it with the nice little precision aim, that's an attack 3 at range. That's pretty solid. In addition, it moves the charge back. So it's got some nice sustain there. I prefer the bottom. I think +2 heal on your next 6 heals.
I guess it helps to keep yourself alive.
That's how I view it.
There's some classes that are helpless.
Yeah, the Drifter I don't think is. I think he's got all the tools.
All the tools in the toolbox. Next is Deadly Shot.
Alright, so they divided the Drifter cards into charge management and crappy initiative, and now we're actually in the good initiative cards. We went from all the other ones that were above 60 now to a 32. You get a nice move 4, which the Drifter has just been dying to get, because worst case scenario, if you have to attack with it, you chuck out poison at a huge range of 5 and attack 1, which may actually do something, but you actually get to attack 3 if you pick the precision aim build. So if you go precision aim, this one's actually probably very good. Yeah, poison's good too.
Next card is super great, called Fortitude.
Yep. On the top, we've got a very good card. It's a persistent loss. However, every time you kill an enemy, you get to slide a charge back on anything, and it lasts us for the whole scenario. So as long as you just keep the murder train up, your charge abilities come back. Choo-choo! All aboard the murder train. There's some scenarios where there's so many summons from enemies, you can just keep on pounding on them and getting charges back, because it actually doesn't say like non-summon. So as long as you can have targets, just eat through them and get your charges back. Worst case scenario, the bottom half, you move one of your charges back too. You can do it just as kind of almost like a rest turn, and it's got a niche 31, so it's not awful on that, which the Inox has been desperately needing.
Vile Assault.
I think you don't like this as much as I do.
No, because it's a loss on top.
I do like the loss, though. I do think I have a different way of viewing it. I think if you're using the move or the heal, or both, or one, the bottom half's just really good. He move 2, heal 2. Also, in Ish 27, you're going to be using it to move yourself through the scenario. If you do have the move 1 up, which you may or may not, get a nice little 4 spaces of movement, and you get to heal yourself in the process, possibly remove poison or wound. Or, if you got the healing thing up, you can give yourself a nice heal while still positioning yourself well. If you finally are in the last room or something, or fighting a boss, you can wound and poison it and slap attack 4, attack 4.
That's good.
So it has uses. I think some people are going to see crushing and be like, oh yeah, attack 4, and ruin their hand size. I think you have to hold on to it and kind of keep yourself alive with the bottom half.
Draining Arrows is next. Pretty nice.
Yeah, I actually, for 2 reasons. I think if you are going for the precision aim build, now you've got attack 3, target 2, which Not quite a fire orbs, but it also muddles.
In the bottom half.
Yeah, the bottom half.
Watch out.
Watch out. So 3 of your charge abilities, slide them back 2 charges each, saving you 6 charges. And over the course, if you burn all those charges, that's going to be 3 experience.
The bottom half of draining arrows is a good, oh shit, my persistent abilities, they're gonna go to my loss.
Bail yourself out if you've burned too many of them. And you got a bit of experience in a bailout, yes.
All right, next is no remorse.
All right, heal 3, initiative 20. It could be better. I don't like that on a top half. Bottom half, I don't even know what it's trying to do. Like, you run in there, stab for an attack 1, run out, and then lose it. Yeah, it's just a poke. I know with crushing weight, it's going to be an attack 3, but...
But it's a loss.
Yeah, I know you move a lot, but...
Maybe they'll change this card before release.
There's several cards that we know that are different, so this is kind of just a playtest.
Please buff this card.
Please change this.
Next is Destructive Fury.
It's a double loss.
My favorite.
Everyone's favorite. Double losses. This might be trash. I think there's potential. It's hard to... I almost want to test it. I don't know if I will, but I think there's potential. But Initiative 19 is great, especially because the Drifter needs it. You might have to use some of its default actions to keep it in your hand, and I'm not sure I like that on the Drifter so much, though.
Yeah, especially when you got, like,
you've
earmarked 3 or 4 cards for your persistent abilities that are going to be out in play. Meanwhile, you need to keep yourself from exhausting, but you're going to carry this card around.
Just to, do a move 2 between stuff, and then, yeah. But you can blow it on, a big, massive attack 4 on almost a whole room. It can be really good, and it's got great initiative, so... I can see its uses, but I hate double losses, and it just feels like it's gonna... I feel like you're gonna feel regret just keeping it in your hand and be like, dude, this sucks. That's my impulse, so...
Alright, last card we're going to be talking about is Prudent Preparation.
Prudent Preparation. You get a nice little heal 2 with very long range on bottom. Although there is a nice heal 2 with better effects earlier, you get this with a nice 14 initiative and a long range. I think because of that, they're not adding another effect like a move 2 or a charge manipulation because you have to pay for that high initiative. But the top half, though, is a Retaliate and a Shield, which I'm not a huge fan of Retaliate in general, but on an early initiative and paired with a shield, I can see this having potential.
And you could also pair it with the persistent ability that adds to Retaliate.
Yeah, so at that point you're retaliating 3 every time, which is very good, especially at the low levels. If you're going to be fighting like the level 1 bandits, you can pop them with just 2 retaliates.
That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, hit that like button, comment below, and hit subscribe. Next week, we'll be taking a look at the Necromancer. And stay tuned for more bloopers.
I'm the Inox Drifter. I have 3 horns, like an Inox.
Yeah, those are horns, dear.
Banana horns.
Banana horns. This is the... I really hope they...
Run, poke! Run.
Yeah, or run, like, is it some sprinting by him and you... Nice. Top half's a nice heal. Really?
I just gonna cut it out.
The black metal singer.
Destructive.
Double loss!
The bottom half of this card is good. Oh shit! My persistent abilities. They're gonna fly off because
Cut! Okay, so... I think you're going insane. Let's just get through this.
Draining arrows is